What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Wafflecast with me, your boy Jake, and
that guy Lee. I'll do the intro.
How me and you met was a bit of a weird situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I recall, it was a house party, and you came to me on a beef ting.
I didn't even know the playlist.
It's a nice little slow banger for me. I can't lie. It made certain playlists, if you know what I mean. It made certain playlists. Not the main one. Maybe a few. A little bedroom vibe playlist. Because it's basically the equivalent of your bird sending nudes to other men, but for money. But that brings me to my next question. If she's making bread.
Serious money.
Serious bread. Are you staying? Yes. Right. Compose.
You stumbled on your own name.
I know. Right. Yes, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Wafflecast. It's been a long time in the making. Nearly about a year. I'm here with my co-host, of course, Mr. Jake Crook.
Yo, everybody, welcome to the first episode, and you're probably wondering where the hell we are. Are we in Marbella? Are we in the Bahamas? No, we're at the Not So Sober in sunny Coventry, coming live for the Wafflecast.
All through lockdown, we'll be here on your screens until it's over, and then hopefully once it's over, we'll just keep continuing the podcast.
Yeah, because otherwise we'll probably have like 3 episodes.
Shout out man like Boris. You're probably thinking, what is today's episode about? What is the first episode about? And I can tell you that in this particular episode, we are going to be talking about certain albums that have been dropped. Anything else that
KSI's trash that you released?
It's questionable. We'll get into that debate later. We're going to be talking about ONLYFANS and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
And if your girl should have one or not.
You shouldn't have a girl. The third segment of this podcast is going to be the lockdown roundup. So everything that we have missed or everything that has happened during lockdown that we haven't really been able to speak about, celebrate or anything like that, we can clear that up.
How we've been coping with lockdown, what we've been getting up to keep ourselves busy and keep sane.
And then the first segment, which is the one that we shall be starting off today's episode for, is how did we form the Wafflecast? How did we meet? How do I know Jake? How does he know me? And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the first episode.
So I think how me and you met was a bit of a weird situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I recall, it was a house party and you came to me on a beef ting.
Yeah, I came up to Lee. Lee at the time was beefing one of my friends and we were like sort of drunk and I was just like, listen, I was like, he's a good guy, you know, when you get one of them drunk ones, you get all lovey-dovey, don't you? You're like, yeah, leave it.
One of them.
So it wasn't really a beef, it was more of trying to stop the beef, wasn't it?
It was probably the weirdest interaction I've ever had with a stranger because he's come up to me in this most passive-aggressive kind of energy, as in, because I thought he was coming up to basically have a fight or scrap me or something like that. But instead, turned it around and made me feel like I was a villain for something. I was like, all right, cool. And I think from that point on, I think we knew we were going to be boys. Throw to many more holidays, many more memories, drunken memories, which we'll probably get into in a later podcast because there's too many.
Yeah, there's way too many to go over in one podcast.
Too many, man.
But yeah, so me and Lee met at this house party. And then we didn't really speak after that for a little while.
I wonder why.
Because we didn't really know each other, so we met, and then we had a mutual friend at the time, and basically we booked our lads' holiday, and Lee and his friend had booked their lads' holiday, and coincidentally they were at the same time in the same place.
Wonder how that happened.
Yeah, and so basically we ended up going out pretty much on the same date, so we ended up just chilling together, and then after that holiday, it was sort of like a long process, wasn't it? Just getting to know each other more.
Yeah, I think it happened during the summer. It was a summer romance that blossomed.
Summer vibes.
And yeah, it's been like nearly 4 years now, and here we are, finally making a podcast together.
Yeah. So it was about a year and a bit ago that I came to Lee with the idea, because Lee was actually doing other YouTube, weren't you, at the time?
Yeah.
And he was doing other videos, and I was like, listen, everyone knows that we just sit and chat shit, and it can be quite funny sometimes, but it can be a lot of fucking waffle, hence the name of the podcast. But I was like, it'd be a great idea just to record it. It'd be a bit of fun for us to do. Because at the time he was like really struggling for like YouTube ideas, you know, coming up with new content. For whatever reason, like you just had a bit of like a creative block.
Yeah, for a long time, I think when I first started doing YouTube, it was around the whole football craze of just going out and doing football videos and stuff. But then on top of that, trying to get a group of lads to get into video mode and film a video is just impossible, especially because, and it's not their own fault, it's all credit to them. They've all got their own characters and stuff like that, and it's just hassle trying to organise those kind of videos. But yeah, as Jake said, he then approached me and asked about a podcast, which is something I thought was a lot of a more calm idea for the pair of us, especially to just be able to sit down, have a long conversation about what's been going on and stuff like that. It's so much easier to organise, and
I think it's kind of like, in a sense, stress-free as well, because we are the we're not like, this can sound stupid, we are the content, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like you're not having to think of these crazy ideas like, I don't know, like the sideman, like whatever, like I don't even know. They're dead videos, but you know what I mean.
And the thing is, it's not like we don't have it in us to be crazy. We can do crazy shit. But the thing is, it's like sometimes you want to just have a sit down and a conversation. You know what I mean? A little bit of a catch up, which I'm hoping is what this podcast is going to just form into. It's basically just going to be us catching up, but on camera, and the rest of the fans can watch and be entertained.
So, for me, I know going through lockdown, I've absolutely took a fat L, not having a PlayStation.
You've missed out. You have
missed out a lot of stuff. You know, all of our friends have sort of been like on PlayStation every night, chilling, playing, and I've literally just been watching Netflix, and I'm so bored of Netflix.
Yeah, for me, I've literally lived on my PS4 for about 3 to 4 months now. The levels are mad. I've leveled up crazy amounts now. So games I've been playing, funnily enough, GTA 5 has been out for God knows how long now, and that game has not died. If anything, we revived it. All right, we've been playing games on my personal YouTube channel. We've been uploading like races and playlists and stuff like that. Started playing FIFA and doing pro clubs and stuff, and it's been really refreshing. It honestly feels like, you know, when you have a summer holiday in year 6 or in any year, to be honest, whatever year you're in at school, whenever you have that summer term, that's kind of what it's felt like. But obviously, I'm not trying to big up the whole coronavirus thing because there's a tragedy everywhere.
Don't big up Corona.
I love Corona. But for what it's worth, it's been nice to have that little break from everything. And I think the world needed to slow down a little bit because the world goes at a mad pace. So it was nice to slow down, play a bit of PlayStation. But God almighty, I'm bored shitless now.
Yeah, I can imagine it does like take its toll. Especially when you're banging out 3-4 hours a night, you know what I mean? Or longer on the weekends if you're allowed to, you know?
Well, see, I've always, things that I've kind of discovered as well is that everyone's been kind of learning how to do certain skills as well during lockdown, right? Now, for me and you, obviously, we talk outside of the podcast. Obviously, I know, and our close mates know, that you've started doing music and you've kind of taught yourself how to semi-produce. So, tell us how that's going at the moment.
I feel like with the music thing, like it's really like a day-to-day feeling of like, are you vibing it or not? And like, I didn't actually appreciate how much work goes into like music production.
Yeah.
Like, credit to all these producers that how they're making like these tunes that I don't know. I've dabbled in the music. I still nowhere at a level that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to put some out. I think that'd be a little while before that happens, but it's been fun to do.
It's like what they say though, you've got to start somewhere, and you know, we're stuck in lockdown, there's fuck all else to do, so you may as well try and teach yourself a skill. And to be honest, taking on producing is a good skill to take on, because that can take you far depending on what career path you want to take. Me personally, my skills, I've just tried to teach myself how to shuffle. I've tried to teach myself certain dance moves and stuff, and
productive time then.
Oh yeah, man. My TikTok be lit. Follow me on TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's been a crazy time to like reflect as well, hasn't it? Just on life. Like I listened to somewhere the other day. It was like this lockdown's been a good time to just slow everything down and actually like look around you and see what's going on and like make some realizations. Like, not to get deep, but like realizations in life that like, oh shit, like I want to change this way when we come out of lockdown and do this and that. And
fully agree. I think there's been so many moments during this lockdown that I've sat there and told myself like, okay, once this is over, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, because I feel like, me personally, I feel like a half of a year has been wasted indoors now. And during that, I've just discovered a lot of things that I didn't think I had the time to do, but now I've got the time to do because I'm stuck indoors. It's made me realise that I can't wait that once lockdown's over, I want to pursue some of these things.
Yeah, it also makes you value things a lot more, doesn't it? Like, oh, look, now you haven't been able to do it for X amount of weeks, or it'd be like week 11 at this point. Like, it's like, oh, I need to value that time more that I'm doing this and that.
Exactly. And one of the things for me personally is I've always enjoyed rapping. I've always enjoyed writing bars and stuff like that. I think a lot of people enjoy like their own certain things. For me, it's personally rapping. I may not exactly be good at rapping, as some of you may know, but it's one of those things I do enjoy the writing process, and I enjoy like jotting down how you feel about certain situations and putting them into a song. So for me, I've been like writing a lot of music in lockdown, as I know you have as well. And it's definitely one of those things that I want to tick off the list, that once this lockdown's over, I do want to go into studio and like produce at least one song.
Yeah, so it sounds like. I think that's the age-old thing, isn't it? Of like, when you're trying to produce things at home, like you're not getting that studio vibe of like actually having an engineer there and being like, oh, let's make it sound like this. Because really, you're just playing around with little things like, and you're like, oh, is this going to sound better, this and that. It's difficult for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those things as well. You've got to throw yourself in the deep end. You know, you don't know if you're going to sink or swim. And I think music's one of those things. You'll find out very quickly whether you're in it or you're not. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be worth the try to just have one professional song produced and just see where I can take it, really. Because obviously I've done music in my past, and it hasn't exactly been the best. But there's limitations to recording rap songs on PS4 headsets.
Speaking about music, obviously there's a lot of music dropped during lockdown.
I like that segue. It's nice. It's nice, clean.
So I've read it in a lot of like articles and like news outlets and stuff that streaming services have actually gone down during lockdown. So when you think about it, you know, people are listening to music for like on the commute to work, at the gym, obviously things like that are all shut.
Yeah.
You know, people in social settings listen to music, and obviously there's been no socialising.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of them people, you know, breaking the rules.
Rules were made to be broken, boys.
So obviously streaming's gone down, but artists are still releasing hella music.
Yes, of course. If I have to look at another EP or mixtape that's dropped called Quarantine, I'm seriously, I'm done.
any title relating to quarantine.
If it's Corona, Quarantine, or something like that, I ain't listening to it.
Little Pump on Poppin'. Yo. Not got Corona. What was that?
No, I don't think but no one's ever considered Little Pump a lyricist. Do you know what I mean? He's a walking, talking ad lib. That's it. But yeah, I guess on that topic, obviously you lot may know. If you didn't, then obviously you're not doing lockdown correctly. But KSI dropped an album, Dissimulation. I'm not going to put the link in the description because you already got enough buys for it, so whatever.
Yeah, you don't deserve the streams because that's trash.
Right, now this is what we're going to talk about. So your opinion is, you think it's trash, right?
I think in the scale of things for being like an actual, like if you take a proper artist, for example.
Right, yeah.
Let's take a UK rapper, like a Dave.
Yeah.
And you compare a Dave
to
a KSI, there's like...
There's levels to this music shit. I do agree. However, right, and this is what my argument will be, is for a YouTuber and for someone who's come from nothing and just playing FIFA videos and stuff like that, to drop a debut album, and although the charts aren't finished yet, he's looking to get a top 3. That's impressive. Like, and you've got to respect the fact that, I know you're going to say, okay, he's got a YouTube audience, he's grew that over time, but that's still hard work to grow that following to that level.
100%. I've got to say fair play for that, but I feel like if you've already got, you know, he's got what, plus 20 million on a YouTube alone, followers. like no matter what he puts out, his fans are gonna watch it or listen to it or whatever. So it's not the numbers aren't in comparison to actual artists. They're not really legit in a sense. Yeah. There are people listening to it, but it's just fans of his other stuff that came before.
I guess. However, this is where I'll come in and I'll cut you off on this bit, right? But for years now, and everyone knows this, he's produced shit music, and his own fans hate on it. Like, whenever he produces music or whatever, all you see in the comments is, this is trash, stop doing music, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I actually found it crazy. He released that album, was it last year, the New Age album?
Yes, with
Randolph and... Randolph?
Oh, you shall not pass.
What the fuck his name is. And he had a few features on there and stuff. And they were selling out, like, clubs, small venues, like, decent capacity, like, around 1,000 plus. And that was all off literally like two like quote unquote YouTube rappers, right?
Right.
So I feel like in comparison to that, he has definitely leveled up this album in terms of YouTube rapping.
Yeah, that's all I'd say. I'd say although he's still a YouTube rapper, right, and it's always going to be hard to get away from that title, I think from where he's started to where he's got now, music-wise, I think there's massive improvements. Like, I won't lie, yeah, I won't put a KSI song in my playlist because it's KSI, right? And as bad as that may sound, it's just the cold hard truth of it. A lot of people, you hear KSI come on in the club, yeah, you're not going to turn to your mates and be like, oh, yeah, it's KSI, you know what I mean? But this Dissimulation album, now you could argue the features carried it, but 4 of the songs made my playlist and they were bangers.
So go on, like, what are your top 2 songs from the album?
Right, top 2 songs.
I think that's what he deserves for this, to be honest.
Bad Little Vibe, featuring Jeremiah.
I think, in my opinion, that's the only good song on the album.
Jeremiah carries it.
He does,
yes,
he does.
But right, it's wavy. It's a banger. And then the one that he just dropped on the deluxe with Rich the Kid and
something Tides.
AJ Tracy. Tides, banger. And yeah, they're my top 2. Any of the songs that he does just on a solo one, it's hard to once again be like.
I think my problem is as well, like his sound. He still hasn't found his sound with it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm some next artist that's found a sound. That's not true. But when you see artists like major artists, they're in their own pocket. Yeah. He's like trying to do this American vibe with the British vibe with. I don't even like it's some songs he sound very aggy, and I'm like, is this drill?
I get
genre is it?
I do guess as well, right? And this is where I'll back you on your point. Is I think for someone who's got so much money, and for someone who can pay for these features and can pay for all these producers and engineers and stuff like that to help him with his music, you'd think by now he would have found his sound, which I don't think he has.
Yeah, he's still finding it, isn't he?
But anyway, enough about KSI.
Yeah.
Overall, out of 10, what are you giving the album?
I think the album probably gets a solid 5 out of 10 for me, and that's just based on the fact that it's definitely a big improvement from the last album.
Yep.
And he's definitely experimenting with these new sounds, but it's still not there for me.
I think for me as well, I completely understand where you're coming from. I back it, but to my point as well, I also think from where he started to where he is now, all I can do is just respect the grind. So for me, I'm giving him 1 extra. I'm going 6 out of 10.
6? Oh, 6 out of 10. I was expecting you to give it a high rating.
No. I'm not that deluded. I know that the features carry it as calm.
For sure.
But yeah, so other albums that have dropped during lockdown.
So many albums have dropped during this lockdown.
Too much music.
Just to name some off the top of my head, you got Gunna with Wunna. And if you haven't listened to that yet, that is an absolute fire album. There's definitely some questionable songs and bars on there. But overall, fire album. Polo G, the GOAT. Or GOAT, I'm not sure what it's called.
Polo G, wavy. Always been wavy.
Very hard album.
It annoys me that they're all like our age as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So jarring.
I know, it's mad. Lil TJ released EP State of Emergency, had the whole of New York sort of on the tape.
Yep.
Bar A Boogie and a couple of others.
Bet you were hella depressed about that.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that A Boogie Lil TJ collab for a while, but they're beefing, so we ain't getting it. I don't think we're ever gonna get it, which is a shame.
Might get diss tracks. You never know. Bring them back.
Melodic diss tracks.
Oh my lord. We could be the first to do it. Fuck it, we'll start our own beef.
Let's start it. But that State of Emergency, that was a crazy
Yeah.
EP. That was hard, I think.
Ones that I can think of, I know Drake dropped his long-awaited little EP thing that he dropped.
What was it called? Demo... Dark Lane demo tape.
Yeah,
something like that.
and half of the songs had already been leaked or released on SoundCloud and stuff like that, so you pretty much already heard it.
Yeah.
Other albums I can think of, Tory Lanez dropped his album.
Yeah, New Toronto 3.
Wavy.
That's good.
Hard.
Back in Business, most underrated tune on the album. If you look at the streaming numbers on Spotify, it deserves more clout.
I've got to give it Penthouse Red, I think. Penthouse Red is...
I haven't even made the playlist.
It's a nice little slow banger for me. I can't lie. It made certain playlists, if you know what I mean. It made certain playlists. Not the main one. Maybe a few. No, a little bedroom vibe playlist. Bad little vibe.
Does that make you for that playlist as well? Yeah.
No, I can't put KSI in mine.
No, that is questionable.
It's my fake taxi playlist. Allow it. What about you had Chris Brown and Young Thug dropped a collabed
Slime and B.
Their titles just get worse, man.
But that dropped on SoundCloud initially, and then it dropped on Chris Brown's birthday on all streaming platforms afterwards.
Shout out Chris Brown on his birthday. Don't support your every move, but I like you as an artist. As an artist, my guy.
That dropped. What else did we have during this time? We had a few singles as well.
Well, see, I could name a bunch of drill EPs that dropped, but no one listens to drill, so...
Yeah, H and Future dropped as well. Future's album was...
Future, this is one that's going to bug me, right? Because I feel like a lot of people aren't going to have the same opinion as me. And don't hate me in the comments. I didn't rate Future's album that much.
How? I don't know.
I didn't rate it that much.
How are you going to rate KSI's album and not rate Future's album?
I rate it higher than KSI's. No, I rate it higher than KSI's. But for me personally, one song made a playlist. One song.
Which one was that?
Up the River.
Yeah, he's a fire
Banger.
That made a playlist.
But I don't know. It might just be maybe he's one of those artists that his voice just isn't there for me. Like, I just find it jarring. Maybe like when I was younger, I used to prefer, like, I used to like him and stuff.
Yeah, I'd say, okay, for example, go back a couple of years, Mask Off. That was a...
Yeah, like, but that's always going to be, it's like written as like, if you think Future, you think Mask Off. Yeah, that's his, like, every artist has one banger which just, like, decides their future, right? Mask Off is that little... Mask Off is that.
Little pun there.
It was. So less.
So obviously we kind of had this discussion off camera very briefly, but we wanted to save it for the podcast. H just dropped Polaris new album. Well, new EP. He ain't actually dropped an album yet. It's been EP.
New EP. Now I know we've had a very, very brief conversation about which EP was better. Was it H2O or was it Polaris? Right. Now, this is why we're best mates, yeah? This is why we're on this podcast, because we can have these debates and I won't want to kill him. But H2O is shit.
See, in my head, on H2O, you've got Shake, Taste, Bust Down, with Zai Zai, although I always thought it was ZZ. Apparently it's Zai Zai this whole time. I thought it was ZZ. It sounds hard with Zai Zai. I don't know what that's about.
What the fuck is Zai Zai?
So yeah, but
I can't be
obviously Polaris has literally been out.
Yeah.
We're recording it. It's a bit bait. We're recording this on the day it's just dropped, but we've both listened to it a few times.
Yeah.
It's H2O. I would argue has like more club bangers on it.
Right.
You know.
I agree in the sense of yes, they do have more songs that to a wider variety of audience, right? So that EP, I feel like it's always going to do better than this Polaris one because he's widening his target audience, and I think a lot of like his songs, like you said, can get played in clubs, can get played in the summer, they get played at pool parties in Malia. Not heartbroken about that yet. Not heartbroken about that yet.
2020.
Right, yeah, there's multiple good songs. I just think, me personally, that's not H's sound. I know this is going to be a reoccurring theme that artists have sound, right? Me personally, I prefer his old stuff. Straight rhymes, banger. Mario Kart, that's a hidden one.
The thing is, I would argue that he didn't necessarily change his sound on the H2O EP. It was more he was getting features that made him more like quote unquote pop-y.
Yeah. In my opinion, the whole EP, another pun, was wet. Right? It was a wet.
That's 2 puns, you know.
Hey, I'm out here, fantastic. It was a wet album because it just, I feel like it was mainly targeted at birds, which is fair, yeah. And I don't know what the obsession is with birds finding H fit, but it's
all the birds out there that find H fit, drop in the comments what it is about H that you find so attractive, so we can figure it out.
If you say it's fade, I'm done out here. Because every man has a fade.
I've seen many better fades than H, but big up H though. Big up H.
Yeah, no, H as a person, yeah, safe, but H2O shit. Polaris, hard EP.
The thing is, he's got that Rain tune with AJ Tracy on there.
Yeah.
Which is at like mad crazy streaming numbers right now.
Yeah.
And obviously the only other singly released after that was Raw, which literally came out like last week.
You know what? I found out the other day as well that Raw is a little slight diss as well at Russ, who he's currently having on and off beef with on social media.
Story, though, isn't it?
That is a whole other story. We can make it a clip maybe one time, right? But that beef is just
the beef.
Pathetic. It's pathetic beef. It really is.
But yeah, so like obviously he had one major single from that. This got crazy numbers. He released a few weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago now. He waited ages to release another single, Raw, which was the second one off the EP.
Yep.
How do you think these numbers are going to match up for this EP? And should he have released an album instead of another EP?
Right, yeah. So as I was saying, I believe the numbers personally aren't going to do as good as H2O. Because H2O it went to a wider variety of audience. It's one of those where he dropped it at a perfect time because he has got the correct voice for the summer. It's just me personally, I just don't like that type of music that he put on the H2O EP or album or whatever. On this EP that he's dropped, it is a lot more drilly, rap, whatever. That's more of my kind of style that I listen to. Numbers wise, H2O is always going to do better. And that's just straight facts.
Fair enough.
But yeah. So did you want to do a out of 10 for some of the albums, or
we'll do a real quick run for you. We'll do Future, Polo G, H EP, even though it's only been out a few hours, but we'll do it. What else? Future.
Chris Brown, Young Thug, Future. I believe that was it that we covered.
Cool. So Slime and B, Chris Brown, Young Thug album out of 10. Quick fire.
4.
I gotta give it a 7.
Right, we go quick fire. I'm going for
Polo G, go
9.
I gotta give it 10.
Fairs.
I gotta give it. It's just Fairs. He's the goat now. He's the goat.
Fairs.
Future.
Oh, don't piss me. Wait, is that in the shot? No, it's alright. No, wait.
Future. Oh fuck! At least we know what.
It wouldn't be a podcast if it went wrong.
That's so jarred me. So jarred me. That's pissed me off. It was so close.
I could hear it going as well behind me, but I was like, no, it might be alright.
Future album.
2.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I thought there was a lot of tracks on there that just sort of like didn't need to be on there and he could have cut it shorter.
I just realised I better contradicted myself. I said that I'd give it higher than KSI. Fuck off, 2. 2.
And, I think that's it. So, obviously...
H is EP. H is EP.
For 8. You got to give it a different rating compared to what you do rating an album. It's less songs. It's not as fair. So as EPs go... Different levels.
As EPs go, 7.
I'll agree with you on the 7.
Yeah.
I agree.
Above average.
Yeah. So obviously, last week we were chatting. We had a few beverages. 2 meters apart, obviously, all that good stuff.
Yeah, as you can see, we're sticking to it.
Socially distant.
Yep.
Malvoni, new artist out coming out of New York.
Yep.
What do you think?
I can only go off what you've played of him around me while we've been social distancing. And I'd have to say hard, to be honest. He sounds like he's got a great voice. He sounds like he's quite young, talented. I feel like he's on the come up. So yeah, I mean, you know more about him than I do, but
let me just get it up quickly. Everyone needs to go check out Malvoni. He's got an EP out right now called Who the Fuck is Malvoni? And the best tunes from there, he's got, if it'll even load, I can tell you. He's got a song called NY, New York, absolute banger. And I'd say Big Rocks and No Man's Land are also the other 2 tunes on there. So definitely go give Malvoni a look on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever streaming, YouTube you use, whatever, if you've got YouTube Premium, all that. Go have a look at Malvoni, new up-and-coming artist. I say by the end of 2020, or going into 2021, he'll be as big as like a Lil TJ is, I think.
Bold.
It's a bold statement. I called Lil TJ back in the day.
True. So see, I can only claim dig that, and no one listens to him anymore.
Yeah. So this is the new one, Malvoni. I'm claiming by early next year he'll be doing good.
Wow, there you go. You've heard it here. Malvoni, go check him out on Spotify, Apple Music, all of it. Stream his music because Jake Crook sent you.
Tell him I sent you in the comments. So that's wrapping up sort of the music segment. What's been going on our playlists, albums, singles that we've been listening to over the past few weeks. Lee wants to talk about a little topic. Yeah, so as you can probably see from the thumbnail, right, because there's not a chance I ain't putting it in the thumbnail because I've got a clickbait somehow, right? OnlyFans has been one of these things it's going on for quite a while now, and it started off as just a few little like naughty pictures here and there with like birds just like making a bit of money. Well, I say a bit of money, some of them are wrong. Well, he says birds, yeah, but we respect women.
Yeah, I mean, if you got OnlyFans, I respect it. I respect your decision.
Hustle.
Yeah. every man's on their own job, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so my question was, my whole debate was, if you had a girlfriend, so I'm going to ask this to you.
Hypothetically, because we single A.
Yeah, we are single, our Instas, go follow that. Right, so hypothetically, let's say you have a girlfriend, she pops it to you, by the way, I've got OnlyFans, right?
Is it so? Has she got OnlyFans after I've been with her for a period of time, or we just start?
Well, we'll do two. So we'll say for this certain situation, you've been with the girl a couple of months. She then comes to you with the whole idea of, oh, by the way, I'm creating an OnlyFans, right? Yeah. What is your reaction? What's your thoughts on it? And that's the end of the episode, boys. That's all I needed.
I think it's difficult because there's so many other avenues that you can go rather than having to get to that level. Mm-hmm. And like OnlyFans actually started off as a completely different platform, right? It started off with, celebrities, YouTubers, sort of getting videos and content on there that was only for the fans, hence the name OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into this sort of
soft porn site.
I wouldn't even say soft at this point.
Hardcore porn. Yeah, right. So for me personally, if I was in this situation, let's say I was with a bird and they came up to me and said,
we respect women.
Not bird. I had a woman and she came up to me and said,
a lady,
as a woman, by the way, I'm creating an OnlyFans. Honestly, I don't know how I'd feel about it.
I think there's just so many other things that you can do before getting to that.
I think you have to be you have to have that kind of confidence and faith in your partner at that time to be able to let them do that. Like, for me,
I think that word, like letting them do it, like it's their own choice.
It is, but it's your own choice to keep yourself in that situation.
Oh yeah, no, but it's your choice to be the person that's going to do that anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of balls, so to speak, to actually even have.
I should hope not. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of balls on OnlyFans. I can't nothing wrong with that, but I was more into only men's.
I think. What are you going to say?
I don't even have OnlyFans, is it? It's all hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical.
Allegedly.
I think you need to have some of like crazy body confidence even to do an OnlyFans in the first place. Yeah. I think personally I couldn't be with someone that has an OnlyFans just because like I'm a confident person, but then there's a different level of I'm not going to use the word letting or allowing, is your partner having...
Well, let's not waffle about this. This would be, for example, say you're with a bird, she's got OnlyFans, blah, blah, blah. It's all going well between you two, but she's uploading videos of herself doing certain things. She's doing photo shoots of, like, just basically being nude and stuff. Like, again, nothing wrong with that. However, imagine you go on a night out, right? You're with your missus. You've got mandem coming up from here, there, and everywhere saying, oh, yeah, like, you've got OnlyFans, I've seen you, blah, blah. Put yourself in their shoes. What are you doing in that situation?
I couldn't do it.
Exactly.
But I feel like I would have taken myself out of that situation before that could have even occurred. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I'd never go on a night out with my bird ever again.
I mean, I necessarily wouldn't be with a girl.
I'd be housebound.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think for me as well, I couldn't do it because it is basically the equivalent of your bird sending nudes to other men, but for money. But that brings me to my next question. If she's making bread,
serious bread,
are you staying? Yes.
No, because at the end of the day, that's her money. It's not my money. Like, I'm like, yes, the money. Maybe the girl might be treating me with the OnlyFans money. Like, it's a bit of a weird one.
Well, say, all right, let's put you a few years older now. Let's say you're 30. Your woman still has OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Right?
If we got kids and that.
But if she's got the bigger income, she's like helping pay the mortgage on the house. Yes. From doing the mortgage on the house, she's buying whips and stuff, yeah. You're good, you're set. But at the same time, your wife is just sending bare nudes. Basically a porn star at that point.
Yeah, I think there's different levels to it, isn't there? But like, it'd be too like, you'd have to get into everything, and I don't want to get into that because we could be here for hours speaking about
Well, the thing, my problem with OnlyFans is, yeah, and this is coming from deep down in my heart as someone who doesn't have OnlyFans, right? Right?
Have you ever subscribed to OnlyFans?
No, I've seen I've seen some content on there. We'll call it content, right? Probably bang views on YouTube, but no, my problem with it is, right, in a world and a society we live in at the moment, right, there is so many weirdos online and in the world and stuff that have like got like obsessions with like kids and young girls and stuff like that, and I just think it's so mad because when I was in school, like, which wasn't that long ago, but when I was in school, it was like, if you sent like nudes to someone, it's like the worst thing ever if that gets out, right?
I think it gets different as you get older. You mature, you get levels up and stuff.
But this is what I mean. So these girls now, they're like, yeah, of course, all right, cool. They're making a bit of money now for sending nudes to people and stuff like that. But the whole mad thing is like anyone can subscribe to that. Anyone. And I just think it's crazy.
No filter to it.
That's what I mean. It's not like you have to file out, do you have a criminal record, or do you do this, or you do that, or what's your age range and stuff like that.
Maybe
it's just mad.
Maybe there needs to be some more safety measures in there for content creators.
That's right. It's all like good and fun, having a good laugh about it now, being like, oh yeah, girls are sending nudes, blah blah, doing this. And like, you know, if that's the career they want to pursue, I mean, to some respect, it is modelling, right? So if that is the career path they want to go down, that's all cool and that, and like, I'm happy for them. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, if there's like weirdos out there, which there are, and we know there's so many twisted stories about people online and like people getting kidnapped and stuff like that. I just think OnlyFans is just a dangerous whole like app to have it. I just think it's crazy. It's crazy how far this world has come. It's mad.
If you or anyone you know has got an OnlyFans, drop in the comments what your opinions are. Even if you don't have an OnlyFans, actually, drop in the comments what your opinion on OnlyFans is. Give us your take on it, because obviously you've heard our takes. If you agree with us, drop it in the comments. If you don't, drop it in the comments. We'll read through them and see what you're saying. And this has been the first episode of the Wafflecast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I ain't really got much else to say. Just link your girlfriend's OnlyFans in the comments. And we'll give a 1 out of 10 review. We'll try and give up those
Don't drop your OnlyFans in the comments. Don't do that.
Unless you want us to subscribe to you, in that case, reverse psychology.
Give us a drop it in the comments what you thought of the first episode of Wafflecast. Do you like the set at the Not So Sober? Tell us what you think of the set. If you think it's trash, if you think it's sick, drop it in the comments. Please share with your friends and subscribe, follow the Instagrams.
Yeah.
And that's that. Peace.
Next video on Sunday, boys. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Whew.